all these European tourists from across Western Europe are flowing out of the clubs and out of the bars, and I sit there and I politely wait for them to come out, and they usually approach me. And they say things like, "What's your name, little girl?" "Lauren." "How old are you?" 12. And then this one, "How much are you?" Usually the equivalent of 3 or so American dollars. So this young girl, every single night, goes back to the hotel rooms of these European tourists and is exploited in the most sadistic, horrific ways because she wants a little food in her stomach and because she doesn't want to sleep on that old, cold, nasty-ass train platform like her other friends. Now we can hear that story in generations past and think that's charity to deal with that. We can hear that story and be apathetic. We can hear that story and want to just kick the shit out of those European tourists, right? Or we can thrive. We can thrive by solving her problems today. We can thrive by working with organizations like OneLaptop.org that said, how can I use what I do best, not what you do best, what I do best to make a difference in the lives of the 67 million kids that are denied a right to education every single day. They invented something called the Exo laptop, and I'm hoping I can open it. This is like something little kids can open, but a grown man can't open. It's called the Exo laptop, and it's being distributed all across the world, all across sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia and Latin America, giving young kids like Lauren the opportunity to connect and collaborate. They can get on Facebook and MySpace and have a Twitter account. They can use applications that aren't Microsoft Word, but act like Microsoft Word. For the computer science people here, no matter what they're using, if they hit a button, they see the computer language behind that program to help them understand how that program works in terms of the code that powers it. You can drop it, it keeps on working. I've dropped this sucker like 40 times. It keeps on working. You can throw water at it. It's resistant to that. And it's a phenomenal example of a tool, a fresh tool that this generation is using to solve big problems. And you guys can pass that around if you want to, but it's not just a One Laptop per Child project. Because there are organizations all around the world. One's called Room to Read that you guys should be looking up. Another one's called the Global Campaign for Education. You like the United Nations? Look to see what UNICEF is doing around the world to get kids off the street and into schools. The people that say, I'm not a nonprofit person. Great, work for companies. Hewlett-Packard has iVillages programs all around the world that serve as technological hubs to connect kids, connect communities to the power of technology. You Google like nonstop every single day like I do. Look to see what the Google Foundation is doing. Look to see how Google is empowering poor kids and farmers all around the world using the power of technology. Farmers are increasingly able through their cell phones to see the right time to sell their goods when the cost of their produce is the highest. Open up your eyes to these opportunities, and also open up your eyes to the opportunities of the power of something called the girl effect. Hey, Danielle, how do we get the volume on this? You know?
What we were doing before.
Yeah, we're doing good. You can do it.
Sound on in the upper right hand corner.
So, it says on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No. Let me see this one.
Anybody have tap searches?
Is it even playing? That's the... Oh.
Yeah, it was just working. Let's see. if you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is a small scale stuff, this doesn't relate to the big companies, this doesn't relate to some of the biggest and the baddest companies that are coming to campus to recruit us, you'd be wrong, because more and more companies are starting to get the idea that money is over here and doing good is over there. No longer exists in 2010. And a great place to find them is this website, bcorporation.net.
I fundamentally believe that what makes a successful business, how you measure that, is changing in the 21st century.
There's a critical mass of entrepreneurs, including investors, who do believe that business can be a positive force for social change.
But, Josh, those are the goody two-shoes people. That's not real business. Maybe not.
The world as we know it is transforming before our eyes.
And that's usually all I show in this video, because it's Goldman Sachs, just because they bore me to tears. But just know that Goldman Sachs, even the biggest and the baddest investment bank out there, has initiatives inside their company. This one in particular is called GS Sustain. And the bottom line to GS Sustain is, it's profitable to solve problems. They're allocating hundreds of millions of dollars to solar energy, to wind energy, to sustainability and educational challenges around the world, not because it makes them feel so good to do it, because it's profitable increasingly to be good. So I continued down this path, right, to see if I could break up that old paradigm that I didn't think applied to me. And I ended up in Monrovia, Liberia,